Times were tough, so I sold my soul. And I don't think I'll ever regain control. Devil looked me in the eye, now I look the other way. What else could I do? I just stood at the doorway, knew I'd rather be drunk with you. I'd rather be drunk.
Hey Internet, Dracofunk here, and welcome back to my 100 subscriber special, where I drive a Rover train to the South Pole from the North Pole. This is episode 7. I think I got it. Actually, I got it right and then wrong and then right again for the last episode. It was episode 6 last time, and I think I put on the initial slide episode 5, but I fixed it. But here we are. We are continuing our journey, and we need to get around this mountain range, and we are going to be doing that. But the going is a little bit slower than it has been because there are many, many hills that we must negotiate. And the danger I found is when going down a hill, and as you reach the trough of going back up, if you hit that too fast, there is a chance that the front of the Rover could collide with the ground. And bad things will happen, which has in fact already happened a couple episodes ago. If you want to see the Rover train have a wreck, go back to the episode titled It All Goes Wrong. And if you want to see how I fix it, watch the episode titled Special Delivery. And then the episode for this On the Road Again is where we basically get it going. So we are a couple episodes behind where I'd like to be, but we are again on the way. And today we will be traveling. Now this footage is sped up at 4 times. So I've been doing 1-hour-long driving sessions to get to the next location. And I'm going a little bit slower, a little bit more cautious than I had been previously after the little wreck we've had. But I am back on the road. We are traveling across the terrain. I am still a little bit stuffed up, although not as bad as I was a couple days ago when I recorded the last episode. You still probably hear a little bit of it in my voice. Hopefully, knocking on wood, that all this congestion goes away. And I hope everybody out there is also staying away from the junk this time of year. That's what I'm calling it, the junk. So, I am currently trying to pick my course very carefully to navigate these hills. I actually don't have the aircraft I'm using as a marker set as my target at this point in time. The reason it's not set from before is because the locomotive unit, which was basically the control center for the Rover train, was damaged and kind of flew off. And this is a different locomotive unit. So, according to the game, this is a different vehicle, even though it's mostly made up of the same cars. I just replaced the head unit. I would say the power unit, but technically every car on the Rover train has its own power unit. And I could have driven the whole locomotive unit without the front end. It just doesn't seem, it didn't seem right. So I flew another unit from the KSC over here and reattached it. As I said, this is a Rover train, and each of the cars on here can be detached and reattached using the small docking junior ports, just like a real train in the real world. Except this train does not use track. It is a free standing Rover train. And I'll kind of zoom out every now and then just to get an idea of what's coming up and help pick the best course to try and get through these hills. There is a large ridgeline that I'm going to have to cross before I can get to the aircraft. And I'm not 100% sure whether I cross it or not. As you can tell right now, the sun is going down, and by the time I finish this video, I will be in the dark. Now, I did go over a large ridge, or I will, at the end of this, but I don't know if it is the large ridge. I think it is, but I'm not 100% sure. And I find myself at this point in time, I'm getting kind of a little bit closer to the mountains than I would prefer. But, you know, it is not, the terrain isn't as bad as I thought. I just have to be careful. And I'm going to have to really map out my next course. And the other worrisome thing is the aircraft's almost out of fuel, and though it does have mining equipment on it, where it landed, there is not enough resources for it to do any mining, which I've only encountered a couple times before, and only ever on the moon. I really haven't tried to mine on Kerbin. And if the aircraft runs out of fuel, I'm really not sure what I will do. Actually, I know what I'll do is, I guess the Rover train can actually just pick up the pilots and take them along with it, and I'll have to dispatch another aircraft. Although I could send an aircraft out here to collect the pilots and fly them back to the KSC. I'm not sure exactly how I'd handle that. And if the situation arises, I will handle it. Now, my thought process on how I tackle these episodes are whatever happens, happens. I do quick save between just in case something happens outside the game. So if there's a game bug where the game crashes and like I would reload and somehow the rover had been Kraken attacked and exploded, then I would probably go back to the save. But like in the case where I crashed into a hill, that was all on me, and that's just part of what happened. So, and the same thing, this is all part of my reusable space program series. I mean, this technically isn't part of the reusable space program, but it's all in the same save. Or all in the same connected universe. And here I'm zooming out to see where, kind of get an idea of where I am. So I'm not running a lot of mods. I do have MechJeb installed, but I don't have a unit on the Rover. Well, I guess I could use some of the information resources in MechJeb. It's not really necessary, so I don't have any MechJeb units anywhere on this Rover. I feel like I have a couple other mods installed, and I don't remember what they are. But I really wish I did. But I am still traveling, and the goal for this whole series is to make it to the South Pole. And I was hoping by episode 7 to be much, much further. And honestly, where I'm going to end up in today's episode, I probably could have made it to the aircraft if I would have went maybe 5 to 10 minutes longer. But I really, since it was already dark and nighttime, I figured I would stop here, and I may go ahead and move the aircraft anyway without, just to, since I can't refuel there. See, I'm not that far away, but I can't tell if I'm across the ridge yet in the map view because it's dark. So anyway, I have played Kerbal Space Program 2. I played it on the first day. I actually recorded 2 videos, and I was going to release them, but I messed up the audio because as I set up a new instance to record a game in my recording process, I forgot to check the volume levels, and my audio, because I just recorded it all live, did not come through, and I just felt like I shouldn't release it because it was just, you can't really understand what I'm saying, and it wasn't a good amount of quality content. And these last week and this week have been some of the busiest I've been in quite a while. As in, actually, shortly after recording the voiceover for this, I'm going to have to be heading out for the evening, and I won't be back until much later, and it's going to be like that for me until next Monday. And I'm recording this on a Tuesday. And that is just just how my last 2 weeks have turned up. That's why I wasn't able to release a episode for the reusable space program. I have done some recording for that, but not anything that is really episode worthy. All that's really gone on in the reusable space program is mining operations and refueling operations, which are kind of boring to watch because I land on the Mun, I mine until the fuel tanks are full, I fly up to the Mun station, Columbia station, I transfer the fuel to the tanker flies to Kerbin, and right now it's refueling the interplanetary probe that's going to take some stuff to Duna. And then I flew it back to the Mun, docked to the station, the mining ship landed on the Mun, it flew back up, and I did it again. Actually, I think I've done 3 mining missions on the Mun, and 2 tanker missions to the it's basically a drone spacecraft, and it is not yet refueled completely. It's going to probably take 1 or 2 more, but hey, we have come to our stopping point for this episode. As you can see, we are at the base of the mountain, and we're actually very close to the aircraft. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but that next chapter will probably be out Monday or Wednesday of next week. I may release another Reusable Space Program episode Monday. I don't know. But thanks, guys. Have a great day.